as at yesterday, I promised to play the whole clip for you, and after which I will introduce our guest and we would have a conversation around electoral outcome. How have we done generally, and in terms of every indices that we need to, and also development from Kanu still coming in, but I'll let you into that after this. So take a listen. I'll be right back with my guest, and we'll have a conversation with him.
That particular election took place today because there was a disagreement between the commission and the residents in the estate relating to the siting of the polling units. Prior to yesterday, the polling units were located inside the estate itself. But because of issues that arose during the presidential and National Assembly elections, we decided to bring out the polling units out of the estate. So there was a disagreement. So elections did not take place, and we decided that that election should take place today because there was an agreement between the commission and the residents in that particular estate. Now, if during the conduct of an election has been disrupted in certain places, in some instances, the law and our regulation says that if our processes and our procedures are disrupted, or if there's resistance to the use of the beavers, that we can give 0-0 to that particular polling unit and take it that everybody in that particular polling unit has voted. In some instances, if elections are cancelled in some polling units, and then during the process of collation, we look at the margin of lead, and we believe that the margin of lead, or the collation and returning officer believes that the margin of lead will affect the outcome of the election, we can go back and conduct a supplementary election in those places. So some of the processes and procedures relating to whether we will conduct supplementary election is within the purview of the collation/returning officer to make that declaration. But reviews that are made after declarations and returns are made remains within the ambit of the commission, and the commission can do those reviews. So it depends on the circumstances, and also it depends on issues arising from those ones. Now, in relation to Kanu, as at now, I don't have information, or we don't have information relating to what is going on in Kanu presently. But there's a resident electoral commissioner that is supposed to be with the returning officer, and we also have our collation support staff that are also there. So if the returning officer believes that a supplementary election is indicated based on the margin of lead, the returning officer will make that call. If the returning officer also believes that a supplementary election is not indicated based on the processes and procedures of the commission and based on our regulations and guidelines, the returning officer will make a declaration and a return. But if at the end of the day, we find out as a commission that those declarations and returns were made not in conformity with Section 65 of the Electoral Act, we have the right to review such declarations and do the right thing.
All right, we have the right to do the right thing. Festus Okoye and INEC National Commissioner speaking there. Just before I let my guest in on this conversation, let's quickly check what is Daily Trust saying about Kano State as we have it now. The Kano State government has imposed a dawn-to-dusk curfew, which it said it was in view to avoid breakdown of law and order following tension generated from the collation of results of governorship and state assembly election in Kano. In a statement issued by State Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Malam Muhammad Garba, the announcement was issued on Monday morning. He said he decided, the decision, was to prevent hoodlums from causing chaos in the already tensed situation. The commissioner called on the people of the state to remain indoors as security agents would not spare anyone or group bent on causing trouble. Daily Trust reporters that the result from 44 local government areas have been read out by coalition officer, with NNPP leading with over 120 votes. the winner declaration had been delayed since 3 a.m. due to issues on cancelled votes. The returning officer was, however, about to start declaration of the results by 6:48 a.m. when the APC agents at the Coalition Center began making observations. And that's what we have there. But I mean, this morning I've got a gentleman in the building, and together would have a very interesting conversation this morning. Mukhtar Modibbo, the head data collation Uzebe Development 2023, is with me in the studio. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Uzebe deployment.
Uzebe deployment. Yes, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, you have practically had no sleep. We were talking about it just before we came into the studio, and I must really applaud what you and your team has been doing, making sure that we get the right information, right data as it concerns the election. We'll dive into electoral outcome, as it were. Let's start with the issue around national unity, which is the pride of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, whether we like it or not. We must continue to stay as Nigeria. But some people have regarded this election as one which has come with some form of subtle divide in our political space and in our personal living of harmony. How do we start to checkmate some of these things as we look forward to a better Nigeria?
Yeah, so first of all, I have to say Nigerians have really tried from the 25th of February to the 18th of March to come out and exercise their civic right, right? Is something we have to congratulate them. And also the incidents that happen, the victims that fall part of that incident are people we need to also sympathize with. From Borno, where there was a fire outbreak on the 25th of March, February, as well as on the 18th as well, there was another fire outbreak, which is, I think it needs serious investigations and attention. And then to the pocket of violence we've recorded, the entire thing has to do with things around how do people perceive and how do people comprehend what you put out there, right? And then if people comprehend and perceive differently, what are their perceptions? What are their comprehension on those issues?
Okay.
And in everything, there are three things in this life. There is hope, there is belief, and there is trust, right? Prior to election, I tell you, we observed the election in Osun State, then in Ekiti State, with a lot of violations of, like, a lot of negative events occurring based on the technology that was brought into the election. Moved to Osun, there was a lot of improvement, right, on that. And then moved to the 25th of February. That's the governorship and presidential and national assembly election. Now, if you look at what happened, there was a deliberate effort for the IRF not to operate, and until today we don't have an information, right? It's another thing if you come out and say, oh, okay, this is what happened, this is how it happens, this is when it happens, because we were in the situation room. We have observers across the 774 local government, right? That's in Nigeria. And we have, we deploy 20,000 observers. 7,000 are accredited observers, and then the remaining 13,000 are citizen observers, sending us report, categorizing it. We categorize it and put it out there. So if you look at the information, as of 10:25 p.m., that is when we started receiving result that is being uploaded on the IRF. That has caused a lot of issues in the election. So coming back to unity, I just tried to put together what really transpired this day. On the 18th of March, that is on Saturday, we've seen improvement on the IRF issue, because as of 6:15, because we do our round checks on all these things each and every 2 hours. As of 6:15, they were already 63% of 38% of result been uploaded. As of 9:15, there were already 60% of results being uploaded, right? That is a welcome idea.
Okay.
And if you look at the turnover of the beavers working, it's accreditates someone in just less than 60 seconds, right? We've had that improvement. And on opening of ballots, right, we've seen the massive improvement, because based on the data we have, right, from 8:30 to 9, almost 73.3% of the ballot papers, polling units were open, right? So, but there are pockets of still negative issues that we cannot shy away from. Now, this is what contributes to give people what is called unity. Now, what do we stand as people is our unity. You know, pocket of things that happen on social media, people don't sort of verify some information, they just put it out there. So those kind of people need to be called to book, right? And then a lot of things happen. Vote buying, we've seen vote buying in this election, in the Saturday election. We've seen vote buying, vote selling, and what have you. Funny enough, we released a statement saying a commissioner in, is it a commissioner or a cabinet member in Bauchi State, was seen on video with 2 armed policemen, right?
Yeah.
Sharing money. And the policemen that are meant to be the ones that will do that, handle that kind of a thing, were the one helping him to do. So what is the perception of people? Till now, till this moment, I don't know if it happens when I got into this studio, no arrest has been made, right? The guy was not arrested. The policemen were not identified. So as Nigerians, I think what will bring unity to us, it's part from what government will do and what people can do. Now, what will government do to bring that unity is when there is an election malpractice, an arrest should be made, right? If something happens, I tell you what, each and every polling unit have armed and then unarmed around, right? Armed is close. So police and other security operatives know who are in each and every polling unit. So if something happened in a polling unit, there is unknown people. They come, disrupt, and move. Call in your people. What really happened? Right? If they say this is it, call in them, like investigate so that we know what really happened. So that will give people hope, right? And if people have hope, they will believe in a system. And if a system is being believed by people, the people will trust the system. In the entire process of life, right, we have that a principle of credibility, legitimacy, accountability, service, and power, right? Any of that thing that is tempered with, you might think as low as what happened, but people will not longer have hope for that system. They will not believe in the system, and they will not trust the system. And that's what happened during this election. But what is the call for people? We all know that INEC is scheduled with the responsibility now to tell us who is our next president. They did. We have a president-elect. We have a vice president-elect, right? And then we went on election on Saturday, that is the 18th, to vote governors, right, as well as state assembly. INEC is the only person that has the right to put out that result out there. So I think what I will tell citizens is, let's always wait for INEC to put out that information out there. And if we have any issue, then we were. And then the last thing about this thing, the call for unity. We had the presidential peace accords and governorship peace accord. Now, these accords were signed twice, right? The first one, the second one, there was a bit of like explanation that a spokesperson should try to do something like. As a politician, you just need to call for peace. All right.
Let me hold you on that, Mukhtar. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, you can join us via YouTube. We are live on YouTube. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Exciting. Hello, my name is Kimberly Nwachukwu. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
Audio Jungle.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
But then again, you were trying to make a point about when it comes to trust and believe and hoping as a people. And if we lose any of those components, it might just affect our relationship as a people. How do we start to mitigate some of this gap?
Yeah, so we just have to go back to one particular thing. What brought us together, right? What brought us together is that unity, is that diversity. I am Goody by tribe, right? From the northeast part of Nigeria. Adama to be particular. In Adama alone, right? There are hundreds of tribes, and we all live together. You're from Lagos. There are Yorubas. There are Igbos. They are all kind of live. You're in Abuja. They're all this thing. That is what makes us different. My name is Mukhtar. Someone's name will be Michael. My best friend's name is Andrew. You get, that is what brings us together. So once if that thing that is being brought us together, like, is being weaponized, that's when we lose hope for each other. Right? That's when we lose trust for each other. That's when we cease to believe each other. And I don't think we should have that particular thing now. Politics is all about ideas, right? This whole thing is ideology. The democracy thing is ideology. It's either I resonate with you, right, or I don't resonate with you. I tell you, I vote in Abuja, where I voted. My candidate, or let me say the candidate I voted for, right, scored 1 vote. Obviously, that is my vote. I am happy because I resonate with that particular person, and that's why I voted for that person.
Okay.
Right? So individual differences is valid. We will agree and disagree, but we will always be what? Together.
Okay.
Right? A lot of there was a lot of tests of tribalism and religion issues in the distance. So let's not make someone's failure as our failure, right? Someone might have failed because he or she is inciting violence, is saying all sort of things, but you have sense. If you try to say you're going to fight the whole thing now, maybe sitting with you, the best person you sit in the office with is either tribe A and your tribe B. So when you see tribe A and tribe B fighting somewhere, will you come back and fight with your brother? You will not, because maybe there is that intermarriage thing. Someone from Kano is marrying someone in Oyo, someone from Akwa Ibom is marrying someone in Adama, someone from Zamfara is marrying someone in Oshun or somewhere. So let's keep what brings us together. Let's not allow politics to weaponize that particular thing that brought us together. I think the only thing we have as Nigerians is the unity.
Yeah.
Right? That is the only thing we have. That is Nigeria.
Yes.
I know a lot of people have other places. Me and you, I don't know if you have another place aside Nigeria.
I mean, it's Nigeria.
So if we have, the only thing we have in Nigeria, every political leader that come into power and is trying to do something that is not there, he only have 4 years. After 4 years, another 4 years, if he has done something for his people, right? Look at the first person that was declared yesterday. It was the governor of Oyo State.
Yes.
to my situation room. I don't know, there are other people that are doing. To the situation room I manage, to the data I receive. We've not had that issues of serious security and then a violence attacks from that particular state. I'm not trying to praise him, but there is something that is telling you. One, if you work for people, you don't need to do gra to get that people to vote for you. If you serve the people, not the people serve you, definitely those people will come. And democracy is all about demand and supply, question and answer. I ask you for question, give me your vote, you gave me the vote, and then all I need to do is to provide service and have power. And the power is, power comes in 3 to 4 angles. Power with, power over, and power within. What we have is, I have my own power, you have your own power. Coming into Nigerian Info Studio today, you own this show. You're the one coordinating the show. I own my content that I'm giving. If I choose to say, oh, you know what, I will not give this content again, all you could do is, Oga,
come and be going.
Come and be going. The same door you walk in, walk out of that door. It's a simple thing. So we all have our individual differences. I think that's what a lot of people need to know. And then the next one that is causing a lot of issues is misinformation, disinformation, and fake news.
I was going to jump into that, especially when you even mentioned Adamawa.
Yes.
The congratulatory message that have been flying around. One would also look that has INEC spoken?
No.
Where are we getting these conversations from?
Parallel tabulating, so each and every politician now, because of this is 21st century, technology is playing a lot of thing in our elections, right? So people have situation rooms to, parallel tabulate result, right? So sometimes all the situation room, you cannot tell me one situation room that is owned by one politician that is dashing out numbers that are not in favor of the politician. So I think the best thing we could do, and for the congratulatory message of the Adamawa State first female person, that people keep congratulating. A lot of people fall for fake news because that the result that was going around on social media is a result that is coming from a particular situation room that is owned by that particular party, right? So what was happening is the people from the state putting out those information being happy, the other party is being happy, this other woman is being happy. A lot of people keep congratulating. Yesterday she was trending online, and INEC did not really announce the result. I've seen a number. When the result came out, when we checked the IREF, the number that is parading on social media is 67,000, while the number on the INEC IREF is 27,000, right? So I think the best thing is, and funny enough, I will be very straight and direct with you. A lot of people have fallen for that thing. I have seen a lot of people that keep campaigning that don't put fake news, don't misinform the public, fall for it, right? So I think we just have to try and follow trend. Nigerian Info is broadcasting. Other TV station, radio station are all broadcasting. So if INEC have released that information, right? When we started congratulating her, people started congratulating her. It was only, Adamawa State has 21 local government. And only 17 was collected. 17. Then how do you do that? So now, immediately after this whole thing, do you know what will come back? If INEC now come to announce the result that is there, and it differs from what people have
seen,
then the next thing that will come in, there is rigging, there is this. I'm not sitting here to say, okay, there is no rigging, there is no this. I don't know, because I don't work for INEC. But what I am saying is, these people have the responsibility to announce this particular thing. We have waited for 4 years
for this.
Then let's allow them to take their hours to give us the result. And then we'll now go ahead and start congratulating the It's a thing for me. It's a joy for me to say in Nigeria, for the first time, 2023, which is a sad reality, that we have the first female governor.
I mean,
but we don't have yet. So let's wait for INEC to do their own course before we can go ahead and celebrate.
All right. Before we come to the phone line, I see it already buzzing. Let's look at, you have been monitoring election. I mean,
I've been observing election.
I mean,
yes.
Before now.
Yeah.
Let's start from where we're coming from.
Yes.
Maybe from 2019.
Yeah.
Of course, 2023 general election, the presidential and the National Assembly.
Yeah.
And now the just concluded governorship election. Have we moved in terms of development? Yes, I mean technology. We say we now have beavers. We started with a card reader, and we now have beavers. But have we really moved in terms of development, efficiency, and effectiveness in our electoral processes?
First of all, I just want you to know that our elections are so, pardon my language, are so expensive. Very, very expensive. If you check the amount that INEC have as budget to conduct the election we have, then you will want to consider a lot of things. But if we're talking about elections, there is no far-fetched election. I was in Kenya observing election, and we went with INEC. We traveled with the INEC chairman and some of his commissioners. I saw them in Kenya. We would at some point had some conversation. No far-fetched election, no perfect election, right? Because even in the US, there are some pockets of a lot of things that happen in that. If you ask me a question is of have we moved, I will say yes, right?
Okay.
Yes, yes, and yes. Because of what we are witnessing, the improvement from the technology that INEC has deployed. And then for the first time that I lay my hands on a real contingency plan, well-documented contingency plan from INEC. If you check it, I know a lot of people might not agree with me on that, but check, you will see a well-documented, I didn't say well-implemented, well-documented contingency plan, which is a plus for us, right? Over time, we've had shifting of elections in this country because of logistics, right? And then in the presidential election and the National Assembly election, we've not had that. For the first time in like 3 or 2 election, right? We've not had that. And then BVAS is a game changer, man. BVAS is a game changer. That technology alone has moved us to another place, right? Then if you keep that aside, the IREF is also a game changer. I know in Osun State, when we observed the election in Osun, there was a time where I think it's either a political party or one of the observers put up a big screen on a roundabout where people are seeing what is coming on the IREF. They are following, right? For the first time in histories of our election, now you can sit back, aside the 25th February presidential election, sometimes that the results were not uploaded on the IREF, right? And when they started uploading, there were some of the results were blurry, some were people's picture and what have you. But we can sit in our comfort zone, log on, and then start checking the numbers and be doing parallel tabulating. That is a plus for us. Now, if you look at the issues of logistics, that's where we still have issues. But on this election,
just wonder, why are we still having issues around logistics?
Thank you. So on this election, right? Maybe when we see INEC, me and you, we can ask them that question. On this election, there were challenges that contribute to the logistical issues. 1, fuel scarcity. 2, naira scarcity. That's the money issues, because redesign policy. A lot of places you see someone will want to go, they will want to take the distance. They will tell you, we don't have cash, right? And that's why the movement have not done. I know we observe in Kogi State. I was personally in Kogi State where some banks were giving people on essential duties priority to access money. But how many people can access that particular money. And prior to that, there was a Supreme Court judgment, and there was a presidential video. Imagine someone from Bagega in Talata Mafara, or Obodogwa in Delta, or Shangwam in Borno, in Gombe, or Yamal Tudeba, where imagine someone that is not in discomfort, tell him to believe the Supreme Court, not believing the president. So what we would have expected is the president to come out and say,
speak.
oh, okay, hey, I said this and this, but court has said this and this and this. This is what stand. The money is, it would have simplified the scenario. But those things sort of contribute. And you know what the redesign policy has done again? It has sort of reduced the worth of selling of vote and reduce that election malpractice of selling and buying vote, because some people are really coordinated for evil, man. I have observed in a place in Okene, Adavi local government of Kogi State, where people are coordinated the way they do the selling and buying vote. And guess what? It was 700 naira.
Whoa.
700 naira that some people collect. I don't want to say everybody, but some people collect as low as 700 naira. I had a conversation with 6 people that have collected that 700 naira. So, but the thing is, these people have not had money. They cannot buy food. They were hungry. So if you ask them not to collect the money, I am not saying what they did is good, but people are suffering, man. That's the reality. So these are things that contribute to our election. These are positive events. These are some of the negative events that contribute to election. But in general, based on someone that has observed, this is my 3rd election, and this is my 4th election observation in the cycle, right? Not just in Nigeria, US, Kenya, and Nigeria, and then some parts in South Africa. I will tell you that we have an improvement, but the improvement is not matching the fact that we have the largest democracy in Africa. We have it. So can we have the largest free, fair, credible, and transparent election in Africa?
I'm just thinking about that well-prepared document by INEC that you talk about, and looking at also the implementation part. But most importantly, you spoke about budget being too much, and I'm just thinking, where do we start to address the issue of budget in election? Well, before we hear your take, let's go to the phone line. Call us up on 0700 951 0000. WhatsApp is 00 999 30137. And just keep it very short and simple. 30 seconds, so that we can allow others to be part of it. Let's start with this caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, the billionaire himself.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is the comrade, Austin.
Comrade, you're welcome. Let's talk, sir.
I greet your guests there. My brother, any society built on a faulty foundation will not stand the test of time. Yes, I know why I'm saying this, because I have some callers congratulating this fraud. And they will still be the first to cry on radio that things are not going well. But congratulating the fraud that you see everywhere. You see, like Obasanjo said, it's classic. If you know that this club of election league, riggers, you know that they are breeding young, the same young election riggers that will take over for them when they finally finish their term. You see? So, where is the future of the country?
All right. Thank you, Austin. It's 30 seconds. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dale.
Yes, what's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Dale. I just said Dale.
All right, Dale, you're welcome. Talk to me.
Yes. All right, well, I just wanted to point out some of the things you all get said. Well, you said INEC employ technology in this election, and yet we are still writing with Spyro. So what has Spyro got to do with technology? They are saying these results will be uploaded to the INEC IRB, or what's it called? So why are we still writing with pen? Why can't the beavers itself probably just automatically upload these results once you have been verified to vote? Why can't these results just go up to their portal automatically? That's my question. LSPD. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dale. A question to you there, Mukhtar. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Effizy from Gokolada.
You're welcome. Let's talk.
are not about stating the ideals and principles of democracy. It's about respecting the ideals and the principles. When the institution of democracy and governance they disrespect the principle, we cannot achieve the best objectives and aims in democracy. We will not be respect the community of nations. They make a lot of media, but what they will do later is correct. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's give our guests ample time to respond. From the time we've got 4 minutes and 2 minutes in one coded place. So
yeah, so just to start with, I am not speaking for INEC, and I will never speak for INEC.
Okay,
because I mean, if you hear his question, he's saying why can't the beavers transmit the result straight? I will really hope it does, because that is my hope. When we set aside to put up a plan to observe the election, we said we don't care about result. What we care about is the processes that brought in the result. We care about people, right? That's why you see when I'm speaking here, I'm speaking about the processes that went down on election. And what we did was to ask people, our observers, field observers, to send in incident reports, right? The only person, what we are doing as observers is we observe and then report, right? But there are people that are doing what is called monitoring. Monitoring, you can see something that is wrong and you correct it there and then. I don't have the powers to do that. I can only observe and report. That's what I want people to know.
Okay.
And the caller that said, why wouldn't it do like that? I will align myself with his thoughts. It's my prayer too. I know prayers now. I don't know. I just want to think that it doesn't work for these people, right? But I would really hope and want to believe that in our next cycle of utilization of beavers, we should have that to do that. But the IREF, uploading on IREF, if you check, you know, as of yesterday, we've had almost 83% of those results being uploaded. And by now, I am 100% sure, if you check, you'll see we are at close to 90% of results being uploaded. That's a game changer. We've not had it like this before. So, you know, I don't want us to be people that are really negative about it, but I know everybody will have his individual differences, right? But let's be positive about our country. INEC has messed up in a lot of places. INEC have done well in a lot of places, right? So let's not shy away from the places they have done well and just bank on the places they've not done well. I keep mentioning there are pockets of violence in Lagos. There are pockets of violence in Rivers. There are pockets of violence in a lot of states. But do you know why I keep mentioning pockets? Because if you check how many polling units are in Lagos alone, how many polling units were attacked? See, I feel sorry for the people that were attacked. In 21st century, we should not see that. But what I will say is people should be held responsible. The police officers that were deployed to those places should be questioned, should be investigated. Why will you allow a Nigerian that comes to exercise his civic right be violated like that? Because you're being paid to do that, and you wear uniform to do that, then why won't you protect that particular person? I think that's just what I will say, yes.
All right, just before I let you go, I mean, quickly, let's talk about budget for INEC, for election. I mean, you have also mentioned that it's just too much.
Yes.
How do we bring it to a minimal level?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, I watch some people say, can we begin to give logistics arrangement of our election to event planners? They will do better. You know, I want to say those people are not really saying the wrong thing. Because to be honest, man, I think we need to go back as people to begin to ask questions and say the few people that are miscreants that destroy our ballot papers, we need to ask them, Do they know how much is one ballot paper? One ballot paper, how much it costs. If you check, I don't have the figures. I don't want to call figures. If you check the figure of how much INEC has received, is in billions, man, to conduct this election that you see we have, right? So I think the better thing is, to be honest with you, in Kenya that we've been to, right? In Kenya that we've been to, the elections we saw, everything you see we are doing here, there are just few differences, but we are practically doing the same thing, right? Why did I say so? The few difference is Kenya has independent candidacy. We don't have.
Yeah.
Kenya has diaspora voting. We don't have. And then Kenya put pictures of people contesting. We don't do that, right? But every other thing from rec to the IRF thing to the beavers, they call their beavers Kim Cat, right? And then the way we do the rec thing, you sleep in the rec, collect is that's the same thing, right? So I think, can we to know people in our population, can we people
okay, let's go for a break. I would have to let her get go and rest. Let's go quick.
This is Nigeria Info.